Hey guys, welcome back to our third part of this 3-part tier 2 burst list. Let's wrap this up. We're gonna get started. We left off with Mast. When she crits twice, she affects the target by decreasing their defense. Not very much decrease, but it stacks up. It stacks up to 50 times, but it only lasts for 3 seconds. But if you are critting a lot, she can stack a lot and decrease the defense for doing more crits. When her HP falls below 70%, herself and 2 allies with the highest attack, except for her, get a huge amount of critical damage. So you want her to take damage so you can give out critical damage to other people. Second skill activates when entering battle, affects her and 2 allies with the highest attack, not her, and increase their critical rate by 24% for 30 seconds. So at the beginning of the battle, for the first 30 seconds, she's going to be pumping out damage. And she's going to be making it so that defense drops incredibly quick and gives critical damage. It's beautiful. She does a lot of critical right there. Pair her with Scarlet, make them take damage. Hey! That's a lot of damage. Her burst is every 20 seconds for her in the highest attacks, which again does not include her. And maximum HP goes up without restoring HP because she wants to remain under the 70% HP for her first skill. And that will also help her give critical damage, more critical damage. So she's doing more and more critical damage. You could heal it up a bit if you wanted, if you paired them with a healer. I don't think she wants a healer. The target's affected with Sea Breeze. That makes them deal more damage and mirrors the stack count of Sea Breeze for every second. So that's this first part up here, where she's decreasing defense and her damage increases by 4% of each stack, which means you could have up to 200% damage, and she gets double stacks for 7 more seconds. That's a lot of damage. The biggest problem is she needs to be below 70% health. She only is useful for the first 30 seconds and then she starts to peter off. I kind of want to put her into the A category. The amount of damage that she buffs with all those criticals is huge. If you bring a healer, she's not going to be useful. Actually, she's really good at PvP because PvP hardly lasts more than 30 seconds. So when she joins in PvP and she has 2 different allies helping her, she can pump out a shit ton of damage. I feel like she's an A based off her PvP and because she does a massive amount of single target damage to bosses. Poli. After 5 normal attacks, everybody gets +5 attack for 10 seconds. Second skill, every 20 seconds, herself and 2 allies with the lowest HP get higher defense and they share damage. I do like the increased defense. What's her burst? Her burst is 40 seconds. Oof. All right. Maybe it's good. Let's see. Is it worth 40 seconds? Creates a shield equivalent to 22% to their final max HP. And it protects all allies. All allies increase attack by 44.66%. 45% damage increase for 10 seconds, plus an extra 5% because you're probably keeping your 5 normal attacks up. I don't even think she's that good for PvP. I'm gonna put Poli on the C tier. Sin. Her first skill activates when firing the last bullet. It duplicates the max amount of HP of the person with the highest max HP. So she gets more max HP when she lands the last bullet, and she taunts. Her second skill, after full burst ends, she will help you fill the burst gauge speed. But every time you use burst, depending upon how many times and it stacks and it uses them all. The first time you're getting life steal, which is great for a tank, don't get me wrong. You're getting more healing on the second time, and you're getting a lot more defense for the third time. The longer the battle goes, the more she tanks and the better she gets at tanking. Cool. Her burst is 20 seconds. That's not bad. Activates when enemies, excluding Nikkes, are more than 4. So if there's more than 4 enemies, you could have written that a lot better, Nikke. Thank you. Affects all enemies. They increase damage taken by 12% and also affects all enemies within range. They take almost 2 times their final attack as damage. So she tanks and does a bit of damage. She's going straight down to the D category. Nihilister. Attack when full charge, affects self. She gets piercing. That's not bad. Piercing radius for an extra shot. So whenever she full charges, she gets pierce, an extra radius for that pierce so she can hit multiple things. Activates when hits 2 or more enemies concurrently. Not 2 or more parts of an enemy, just 2 enemies. She will do half of a shot to all other enemies. That's not terrible. That could be used very effectively on swarm maps. Her second skill that happens every 10 seconds. All enemies take an extra shot as final attack damage. That's not bad. It's every 10 seconds, so it's not great. Her burst is 20 seconds. Affects enemies within range. Does 1.5 of a shot. All right. And it does a 14% burn and sustained damage for 10 seconds. So that's the equivalent of 3 shots over 10 seconds. And she gets more ammunition. 6 shots specifically for 15 seconds. Why would that be good? The maximum ammo just means she's not reloading. I don't think she's that good. I'm gonna put her down on the C tier. You know what? I'm gonna put her in bottom C tier. She's not that good to be on the top of the C. And her first skill, always affecting her supporter allies. They get lifesteal if she does 3 attacks. Her second skill, all allies when above 90% HP gets healed more. Next skill activates when the last bullet hits the target, having over 90% HP, affects everyone. They do not get heals. Okay, so she's a heal denier. Is that good for PvP? Yes. Yes, but she needs to hit her last. How many bullets does she have? 6. She needs to attack 6 times. That's probably before a burst. Her burst is 60 seconds. All attacker allies get more HP based off of her HP. All attacker allies do 77% damage for 10 seconds. That is huge. She resurrects? Bro, I didn't realize she resurrects. What? Bro, she is great for PvP. She is definitely Rapunzel, but I like her more. Denies healing, resurrects, give huge attacks, and also heals any supporters. I feel like she can fit at low A. Get ready, YouTube. You're gonna yell at me for this one. Let's go do Biscuit, the girl that fed me kibble. Her first skill activates at the end of full burst. It affects all attackers, where their critical rate goes up by 6% for 10 seconds. And they also always get 1% of Biscuit's maximum HP for 10 seconds. So basically a 10% heal. Her second skill activates when a defender's ally falls below 50% and it targets that affected defender ally. They become invincible for 5 seconds, activates maximum twice per battle. It also gives them 45% of her HP, but that also only activates twice per battle. This is pretty decent for PvP. 2 random ally units whose cover has been destroyed rebuild their cover, and all supporter allies get 43% attack and gives them lifesteal. Where does Dog Girl Biscuit go? She's good at PvP, but she's no Anne. I kind of want her as a high B. Belorta. She's a rocket launcher attacker that when she shoots with a full charge, she increases her explosion radius for 10%. Her second skill, when she hits more than 4 enemies, they're going to be decreased by 4%, and she deals another 15% of her final attack as additional damage. Her burst is 20 seconds, affects all enemies. They take 200%, so basically 2 shots, and all charge speed increases by 3% for 10 seconds. I'm sorry, Belorta, that puts you in the F category. Anise is also a rocket launcher. When she gets attacked 40 times, her defense goes up by 120% for 10 seconds. Her second talent, which goes off every 30 seconds, affects herself and the 2 highest attack. Their increased defense by 80%, and they share damage. So she might not be taunting, but she gives a hell of a lot of defense out, and she will take a lot of damage for it. Her burst is every 20 seconds. It hits every enemy in range, does a bunch of damage, but more effectively, she decreases defense for 5 seconds. She's going to be taking a ton of damage, helping out the 2 highest, and she makes it so that the enemies take more damage. Pretty decent, especially early game. She deserves a C rank. I don't even know this person's name. When hitting with the full charge, decreases defense for 3 seconds by 7%. Every 20 seconds, anybody else with a sniper rifle gets 10% extra attack and 2 extra shots. And her burst every 20 seconds. The people with 1 person with the highest attack gets more critical rate, which is good, and more critical damage, which is good, but that only affects 1 ally. She is a limited time character. I'm gonna put her in the D tier. Oh boy, we're almost done. We got like 3 girls left. Next girl up, we got Soldier FA. There's a 10% chance when getting attacked, she'll increase her defense by 10% for 10 seconds. That's a lot of 10s. Every 15 seconds, she's going to recover 20% of her health. She gets lifesteal, 20% lifesteal every 15 seconds. That's not terrible. That's some sustainability. And when she bursts, she increases her max HP by 112%, which is not bad. She has a lot of good sustainability. Comparing her tank to Anissa's tank, I'm going to put her in the D tier. The reason she's going in the D tier is because she can survive. She's not going to survive very good. Next girl, we got product 12, is it? Product 23 is a shotgun support. When her last bullet hits, she gets more defense, but she's not a tank. Every 15 seconds, she's going to get 16% lifesteal. And when she bursts, the two enemies get decreased defense. Product 23 goes all the way down into the F category. The last girl we got to do, Delta is a sniper rifle defender. Activates when hitting with a full charge. She gets 8% more max HP. When she's using a burst, she gets 50% more defense. When she bursts every 40 seconds, she'll create an avatar with 91% of her max HP that will taunt for 10 seconds. Delta goes down into the F. That is all of the tier 2 bursts except for Red Hood. We bring out the Red Hood yet again. We talked about in the first burst tier list how she's good overall, but I made the mistake of comparing her first burst to her second burst. We considered her entirely in the first burst, and that was a mistake. So let's just look at step 2, the last howl. Her burst helps her taunt all enemies, helps her get more healing, a lot more healing. You can get better taunts, you can get better heals, but she does become a pretty gosh darn good tank, and she does a whole shit ton of damage if you factor everything else in. So going back over to this chart, she's a good tank. Her burst 2 puts her on the A tier because she's a good unit overall, but I would not take her for her burst 2 skill. I would take her for her burst 1, or more specifically her burst 3. She has a lot of good skill set, which means she's still good, but I would not choose her burst 2 skill. All right, guys, welcome to the last part, secret recruitment. This is again just for you guys on YouTube. Let's see if we can end it on an SSR. We did get elegg last week. Can we get another SSR this week? It looks like the answer is no. We will not be walking away with an SSR this week. Sorry, guys, but that's the end of our tier list where we have no good luck. But you know what? Maybe the luck will be yours. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.